The Yamuna, sometimes called Jamuna, is the longest and the second largest tributary river of the Ganges in northern India, originating from the Yamunotri Glacier at a height of 6,387 meters on the southwestern slopes of Bandapooch Peaks in the uppermost region of the Lower Himalayas in Uttarakhand. It travels a total length of 1,376 kilometers and has a drainage system of 366,223 square kilometers, 40.2% of the entire Ganges basin. Before merging with the Ganges at Triveni Sangam, Allahabad, the site for the Kumbh Mela every 12 years. It is the longest river in India which does not directly flow to the sea. It crosses several states, Uttarakhand, Haryana and Uttar Pradesh, passing by Uttarakhand and later Delhi, and meets its tributaries on the way, including Tons, its largest tributary in Uttarakhand, Chambal, its longest tributary which has its own large basin, followed by Sindh, the Betwa, and Ken. Most importantly, it creates the highly fertile alluvial Yamuna-Ganges Doab region between itself and the Ganges in the Indo-Gangetic Plain. Nearly 57 million people depend on the Yamuna waters, with an annual flow of about 10,000 cubic billion meters and usage of 4,400 cbm. The river accounts for more than 70% of Delhi's water supplies. Just like the Ganges, the Yamuna too is highly venerated in Hinduism and worshipped as goddess Yamuna throughout its course. In Hindu mythology, she is the daughter of sun god, Surya, and sister of Yama, the god of death, hence also known as Yami, and according to popular legends, bathing in its sacred waters frees one from the torments of death. The water of Yamuna is of reasonably good quality, through its length from Yamunotri in the Himalayas to Wazirabad in Delhi, about 375 kilometers, where the discharge of wastewater through 15 drains between Wazirabad Barrage and Okla Barrage renders the river severely polluted after Wazirabad. One official describes the river as a sewage drain, with biochemical oxygen demand values ranging from 14 to 28 mg L and high coliform content. There are three main sources of pollution in the river, namely households and municipal disposal sites. Soil erosion resulting from deforestation occurring to make way for agriculture, along with resulting chemical wash-off from fertilizers, herbicides, and pesticides, and runoff from commercial activity and industrial sites. Course. The source of Yamuna lies in the Yamunotri Glacier at an elevation of 6,387 meters, on the southwestern slopes of Bandapooch Peaks, which lie in the Mussoorie range of Lower Himalayas, in the Uttarkashi district, Uttarakhand, north of Haridwar. Also standing close to the temple, on its 13-kilometer trek route, that follows the right bank of the river, lies the Markandeya Tirtha, where the sage Markandeya wrote the Markandeya Purana. From here it flows southwards for about 200 kilometers through the lower Himalayas, and the Shivalik Hills range and morainic deposit are found in its steep upper Yamuna village, highlighted with geomorphic features such as interlocking spurs, steep rock benches, gorges and stream terraces. Large terraces formed over a long period of time can be seen in the lower course of the river, like ones near Nagaon. An important part of its early catchment area, totaling 2,320 square kilometers, lies in Himachal Pradesh, and an important tributary draining the upper catchment area is the Tons, Yamuna's largest tributary, which rises from the Hari Ki Dun Valley and holds water more than the main stream, which it merges after Kalsi near Dehradun. The entire drainage system of the river stretches all the way between Giri-Sutlej catchment in Himachal and Yamuna-Balanga catchment in Garhwal. Indeed, the southern ridge of Shimla is also drained into this system. Kalanag is the highest point of the entire Yamuna basin. Other tributaries in the region are the Gira, Rishi Ganga, Kunta, Hanuman Ganga and Bhata tributaries, which drain the upper catchment area of the vast Yamuna basin. Thereafter the river descends onto the plains of Doon Valley, at Dak Pathar near Dehradun. Here, through the Dak Pathar barrage, the water is diverted into a canal for power generation. Little further down, where Yamuna is met by the Asan River, lies the Asan Barrage, which hosts a bird sanctuary as well. After passing the Sikh pilgrimage town of Paonta Sahib, it reaches Tajula in Yamuna Nagar district of Haryana, where a dam built in 1873 is the originating place of two important canals, the Western Yamuna Canal and Eastern Yamuna Canal, which irrigate the states of Haryana and Uttar Pradesh. The Western Yamuna Canal crosses Yamuna Nagar, Karnal and Panipat before reaching the Hyderpur treatment plant, which supplies part of municipal water supply to Delhi. Further, it also receives wastewater from Yamuna Nagar and Panipat cities. Yamuna is replenished again after this by seasonal streams and groundwater accrual. In fact, during the dry season, it remains dry in many stretches from Tajula till Delhi, where it enters near Pala village after traversing 224 kilometers. The Yamuna also creates natural state borders between the Himachal Pradesh and Uttarakhand states, and further down between the state of Haryana, Delhi and Uttar Pradesh, along with the Ganges, to which run almost parallel after it touches the Indo-Gangetic Plain, the largest alluvial fertile plain in the world. It creates the Ganges-Yamuna Doab region spread across 69,000 square kilometers, one-third of the entire plain, and today known for its agricultural outputs. Prominent among them is the cultivation of basmati rice. The plain itself supports one-third of India's population through its farming. Subsequently, it flows through the states of Delhi, Haryana and Uttar Pradesh before merging with the Ganges at a sacred spot known as Triveni Sangam in Allahabad after traversing a distance of 1,376 kilometers. Here pilgrims travel by boats to platforms erected midstream to offer prayers. During the Kumbh Mela, held every 12 years, the ghats around the Sangam are venue of large congregation of people who take dip in the sacred waters of the confluence. The cities of Bapat, Delhi, Noida, Mathura, Agra, Firozabad, Etawah, Kalpi, Hamirpur, Allahabad lie on its banks. At Etawah, it meets it another important tributary, Chambal, followed by a host of tributaries further down, including Sindh, the Betwa, and Ken. Important tributaries: Tons River, Yamuna's largest tributary, rises in the 20,720 feet high Bandar Poonch mountain, and has a large basin in Himachal Pradesh. It meets Yamuna below Kalsi near Dehradun, Uttarakhand. Hindon River originates in the Saharanpur district, from Upper Shivalik in Lower Himalayan range, is entirely rain-fed and has a catchment area of 7,083 square kilometers, traverses 400 kilometers through Muzaffarnagar district, Meerut district, Bapat district, Ghaziabad, Noida, Greater Noida, before joining Yamuna just outside Delhi. Ken River flows through Bundelkhand region of Madhya Pradesh and Uttar Pradesh. It originates near village Ahirgaon in Jabalpur district and travels a distance of 427 kilometers, before merging with the Yamuna at Chilla village, near Fatehpur in Uttar Pradesh, and has an overall drainage basin of 28,058 square kilometers. Chambal River, known as Charmavati in ancient times, is Yamuna's longest tributary, flows through Rajasthan and Madhya Pradesh, with a drainage basin of 143,219 square kilometers and traverses a total distance of 960 kilometers, from its source in Vindhya range, near Mhow, and supports hydropower generation at Gandhi Sagar Dam, Rana Pratap Sagar Dam and Jawahar Sagar Dam, before merging into the Yamuna southeast of Sohangaon, in Etawah district, shortly thereafter, followed by another tributary, the Sindh River. Sage Khadari River, known as Sage Khadari, is a tributary in Fatehpur district. History. The name Yamuna seems to be derived from the Sanskrit word yama, meaning twin, and it may have been applied to the river because it runs parallel to the Ganges. The Yamuna is mentioned at many places in the Rig Veda, which was composed during the Vedic period between California 1700 to 1100 BC, and also in the later Atharva Veda, and the Brahmanas including Aitareya Brahmana and Shatapatha Brahmana. In Rig Veda, the story of the Yamuna describes her excessive love for her twin, Yama, who in turn asks her to find a suitable match for herself, which she does in Krishna. It is also said that Lord Shiva was the main reason for the color of the Yamuna River. After the death of Sati Devi, Lord Shiva couldn't tolerate the sadness around him and used to roam here and there. And at last when he went to Yamuna River, it became so black as it absorbed all his sorrow. The tale is further detailed in the 16th century Sanskrit hymn, Yamunishtakam, an ode by the philosopher Vallabhacharya. Here the story of her descent to meet her beloved Krishna and to purify the world has been put into verse. The hymn also praises her for being the source of all spiritual abilities. And while the Ganges is considered an epitome of asceticism and higher knowledge and can grant us moksha or liberation, it is Yamuna who, being a holder of infinite love and compassion, can grant us freedom, even from death, the realm of her elder brother. She rushes down the Kalinda mountain, and verily describes her as the daughter of Kalinda, giving her another name, Kalindi. The backdrop of Krishna Leela. The text also talks about her water being of the color of Lord Krishna, which is dark. The river is referred as a Sita in some historical texts. It is mentioned as Iomanes in the surveys of Seleucus I Nicator, an officer of Alexander the Great and one of the Diadochi, who visited India in 305 BC. Later Megasthenes, a Greek traveler and geographer, visited India, sometimes before 288 BC. The data Chandragupta's death also mention the river in his text Indica, where he described the region around it as the land of Surasena. In Mahabharata, Indraprastha, the capital of Pandavas, was also situated on the banks of Yamuna. It is considered to the modern-day city of Delhi. Geological evidence indicates that in the distant past the Yamuna was a tributary of the Gaga River, but that it later changed its course eastward due to a tectonic event, becoming a tributary of the Ganges. This may have led to the Sarasvati River drying up, the end of many Harappan civilization settlements, and creation of the Thar Desert. However, recent geological research suggests that the diversion of the Yamuna to the Ganges may have occurred during the Pleistocene, and thus could not be connected to the decline of the Harappan civilization in the region. The importance of the Ganges-Yamuna River Basin, and the Doab region as traditional the seat of power, can be derived from the fact in much of the early history of India, most of great empires, which ruled over majority of India, until the Chalukyas king, Vinayaditya, were based in the highly fertile Ganges-Yamuna basin, including the Magadha, Maurya Empire, Shunga Empire, Kushan Empire, Gupta Empire, and many had their capitals here, in cities like Pataliputra or Mathura. These rivers were revered throughout these kingdoms that flourished on their banks, in fact ever since the period of Chandragupta II. Statues both the Ganges and Yamuna became common throughout the Gupta Empire. Further to the south, images of the Ganges and Yamuna are found amidst shrines of the Chalukyas, Rashtrakutas, as well as on their royal seals. And prior to them, the Chola Empire too added the river into their architectural motifs. The three-river goddess shrine, next of famous Kailash rock-cut temple at Ellora, built by Rashtrakuta king Govinda III, shows the Ganges flanked by the Yamuna and Saraswati. Religious significance. The goddess of the river, also known as Yami, is the sister of Yama, god of death, and the daughter of Surya, the sun god, and his wife Saranyu. Yamuna, referred to respectfully as Yamuna Ji, holds a very important position in Pushti Marga, a sect of Hinduism based on the Shuddhadvaita, in which Sri Krishna is the main deity, propagated by Vallabhacharya Mahaprabhuji, and having a large following in India. The river Yamuna is also connected to the religious beliefs surrounding Krishna, and various stories connected with him are found in Hindu religious texts, especially the Puranas, like that of Kaliya Daman, the subduing of Kaliya, a poisonous Naga snake, which had inhabited the river and terrorized the people of Braja. Yamuna, according to the legends, is closely related to Lord Krishna and Mahabharata. Krishna was taken across the Yamuna on the night of his birth. Kansa, Krishna's maternal uncle, planned to kill all his nephews, as his eighth nephew was predicted to be his Kala. When Vasudeva, carrying Krishna in a basket, reaches the river Yamuna, on the extremely turbulent, rainy night of Krishna's birth, Yamuna is said to have parted to make way for Vasudeva. Krishna and the gopis also used to play on the banks of the Yamuna Ji as children. Management. The stretch of the river from its origin to Okla in Delhi is called Upper Yamuna. A memorandum of understanding was signed amongst the 5 basin states, namely Himachal Pradesh, Uttar Pradesh, Uttarakhand, Haryana, Rajasthan and Delhi, on 12 May 1994 for sharing of the water of Upper Yamuna. This led to the formation of Upper Yamuna River Board under Ministry of Water Resources, whose primary functions are regulation of the allocation of available flows amongst the beneficiary states and also for monitoring the return flows, monitoring, conserving and upgrading the quality of surface and groundwater, maintaining hydrometeorological data for the basin, overviewing plans for watershed management, monitoring and reviewing the progress of all projects up to and including Okla Barrage. Flood forecasting systems are established at Poanta Sahib, where Tons, Pawa and Gira tributaries meet, followed by Tajalar, Kalanur, Haryana and Marwai before Delhi. The river takes 60 hours to travel from Tajalar to Delhi, thus allowing a 2-day advance flood warning period. The Central Water Commission started flood forecasting services in 1958 with the setting up of its first forecasting station on Yamuna at Delhi Railway Bridge, India. Irrigation. The importance of Yamuna in the Indo-Gangetic Plains is enhanced by its many canals, some dating back to as early as 14th century CE by the Tughlaq dynasty, which built the Nahri Barish, parallel to the river. The Nahri Barish was later restored and extended by the Mughals in the first half of the 17th century, by engineer Ali Mardan Khan. Starting from Benawash, where the river enters the plains and terminating near the Mughal capital, Shahjahanabad, the present city of Delhi. As the Yamuna enters the northern plains near Dak Pathar at an elevation of 790 meters, the eastern Yamuna Canal commences at the Dak Pathar Barrage and pauses at the Asan and Hathnakund barrages before continuing south. The Hathnakund was built in 1999 and replaced the downstream Tajwala barrage which had been completed in 1873. Western Yamuna Canal. The Western Yamuna Canal begins at the Hathnakund barrage about 38 kilometers from Dak Pathar and south of Doon Valley. The canals irrigate vast tracts of land in the region. Once it passes Delhi, the river feeds the Agra Canal built in 1874, which starts from Okla Barrage beyond the Nizamuddin Bridge, and the high land between the Kari Nadi and the Yamuna and before joining the Banganga River about 32 kilometers below Agra. Thus, during the summer season, the stretch above Agra resembles a minor stream. The Sunda branch of Western Yamuna Canal passes through Hansi and goes to Kanwari and beyond in Hissa. The Sutlej-Yamuna Link, a heavy freight canal, known as the Sutlej-Yamuna Link, is being built westwards from near the Yamuna's headwaters through the Punjab region near an ancient caravan route and highlands pass to the navigable paths of the Sutlej Indus watershed. This will connect the entire Ganges, which flows to the east coast of the subcontinent, with points west. When completed, the SYL will allow shipping from India's east coast to the west coast in the Arabian Sea, drastically shortening shipport and commercial links for north-central India's large population. The canal starts near Pala village near Delhi, and is designed to transfer Haryana's share of 4.3 cubic kilometers from the Indus Basin Conservation Zone on 25 April 2014. The National Green Tribunal recommended the government to declare a 52-kilometer stretch of the Yamuna in Delhi and Uttar Pradesh as a conservation zone. A report has been prepared by the Ministry of Environment and Forests panel and submitted to the NA on the same day.